Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday. Today happens to be the 28th day of March. I cannot believe we are almost done with the month of March. We have a couple of special things. Today is National Triglycerides Day, National Black Forest Cake Day, National Something on a Stick Day, and National Weed Appreciation Day. Do you think that it's weeds in the garden or like marijuana weed?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Could be weeds in a garden.
I don't know. Well, somebody should appreciate some weeds somewhere. Also, we've got a Dear John letter today, but guess what? Since Heidi over here sounds pretty rough still, I'm calling
sorry.
in the big guns. I'm calling in an expert to help me. I've got expert in joy expert, Joy Baldridge. She's a keynote speaker, a TEDx speaker, an author, a world-class trainer and facilitator. She's going to help us on a Dear John letter about how to be happy at work. And she's got a new book called The Joy in Business. So it's perfect timing to have an expert help out. That's all coming up on today's Dear John letter.
Do you have a pretty good sense of humor? You might like this. Early in the morning each day and every day, we share something weird to make people laugh at weirdgiftoftheday.com. You don't need to sign up for anything. You don't even need to spend a penny. Just follow the page on Facebook and get a smile to start each day when we share the weird gift of the day. Not on Facebook? That's okay. You can see the weird gifts on our website too. weirdgiftoftheday.com. That's weirdgiftoftheday.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.net. A survey found that over half of young people do not have a romantic partner. I know two young people that do not.
Yeah.
My daughter and my son. Our son is 22. Ladies, he's single. Our daughter is going to graduate from high school this year. She's 17, going to be 18 soon. Boys, stay away from her. See how I did that. But no, I noticed that many of their friends are also single. When I was that age, when I was our son's age, I was married already. So were you.
So was I.
So, I don't know. Just the way it works nowadays. That's surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.net.
Is your credit card a good fit for you? How did you even get the card you have now? Was it mailed to you? Those are usually the worst cards. They typically have higher fees and rates. Someone has to pay all that postage to mail out millions of cards every day. If you like a better credit card, check out the website bettercreditcards.net. This is a great place to find the cards that are usually a better fit for you. bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
And this is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. A Florida woman named Crystal was arrested for crystal meth. Imagine that. It says here the sheriff's office detectives searched with a search warrant after they learned the home was being used to sell significant amounts of methamphetamines. They had to shuffle through many layers of litter and debris inside and outside the home during the search. They said they were exposed. They found exposed wiring, an open septic system, and other safety hazards. They also did not have power supplied to the property, running a power from a generator instead. Detectives found about 18 grams of meth. A portion of the drugs were recovered in areas accessible to children in the home even. Detectives also found drug distribution equipment and meth already packaged for sale. She was arrested for trafficking in methamphetamines. So Crystal was arrested for crystal meth.
Well, there you go.
There you go. It's today's Brain on Drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. The first official trailer for Toy Story 4 has now been seen more than 32 million times,
I
Heidi.
still am not one of those
haven't seen it?
32 million. I have not
You
seen
know
it.
what? We talked about this last week, and we were going to click over and watch it, and then we didn't.
Have you seen it?
I have. We got to click over and watch it. I want you to see it. I think I told you last week, Tim Allen told me this is his favorite Toy Story.
I'm excited. I do want to see I love Toy Story.
He told me that through Instagram, by the way, and everybody else that follows him on Instagram. Us, the movie Us, brought in $29 million during its box office debut, so that movie's done quite well. We need to get to the theater more often because we haven't seen a lot of these movies. I have been now going on at least watching the trailers, and there's some really good ones. What we've been doing lately is watching stuff on Netflix Even the TV stuff, we'll wait till it comes out
Yeah.
there. So then we binge watch the whole series all at once. That's probably not healthy. Thanks for listening to Big Screen, Little Screen. There we go. Brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
Here's a fun trip back to the 80s.
Surely you can't be serious.
Join us in Las Vegas for 80s in the Desert May 3rd and 4th. Hang out with other 80s bands.
International language of love.
Meet several 80s icons from the movies and rock out to awesome music from the 80s. Flock of Seagulls, The Romantics, Mr. Scandal with Patti Smythe, Thomas Dolby, Pretty Poison, and more. See the full list of bands and icons at radiotravelgroup.com. That's radiotravelgroup.com.
Now your scoop of the day, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. A Russian tourist was busted for trying to smuggle an orangutan out of Indonesia in his suitcase. Yeah, rookie mistake, buddy. You don't do that. You dress him up like a passenger and have him right next to you. Wasn't that in a movie where they had a monkey on a plane? I don't know. Maybe I'm dreaming.
I don't know.
So he was trying to smuggle an orangutan in a suitcase? That doesn't sound very safe for the orangutan, does it?
Not at all.
Sounds like a really bad plan, if you ask me. So
I'd love to have an orangutan.
I think that would be pretty cool. Orangutan would be a neat pet to have.
Remember the movie, the Clint Eastwood
Any
movie,
Which Way But
Any
Loose.
Which Way But
Yeah.
Loose? Yeah.
I thought of that instantly when I was thinking of orangutans. So Madonna was in the news recently. She told friends that she's launching a full-fledged comeback tour at the age of 60. I think she could do that. Cher, how old is Cher now? She's been on her comeback tour. She's done tour after tour, and I think every one of them has been her final tour. Barbara Streisand is also in the news, and there's some people
for good
Yeah,
reasons.
there's some people that are not too thrilled with her. She's catching a lot of flack for tweeting that Michael Jackson's accusers were, quote, thrilled to be there, end quote, and that his, quote, sexual needs were his sexual needs, end quote.
And she
does
said
that
it
mean?
Didn't kill them.
What does all of that? That is just bizarre.
Yeah,
So,
not good.
and again, I'm not taking a side on it. I just don't think we even need to, but I just think that's not something I would want to be in the news for. We'll just put it that way. A survey found that millennials care more about their dates' politics than they do about, getting them in the sack later. So apparently that's a bigger deal to them is, who did you vote for in the last election or who are you going to vote for in the 2020 election? That matters more than, so what are you doing later? So the world is changing.
I can
Eddie.
honestly see that.
I could too. Both of us, we've been married now. Can you believe it's almost 20 years? It's been a long time.
It's
It'll
been
be
a
20
long
years
time.
in February. The two of us have been married to each other. And I can honestly tell you, back when we got married, I don't think politics mattered to me at all. Maybe a little bit, but not a bunch. But now, the older I get, the more that seems
I
to
pay
matter.
very close attention now.
And I don't know that it's because I've gotten older or if the world has just changed. I don't know. Either way. But one of the things that we've made a very conscious effort to avoid politics on this program because it is a very divisive topic. I turn down 15 to 20 interviews a week from people who want to talk about their book or talk about, whatever it is that's very political. I try to avoid that at all costs because whether you like this person or that person, I don't really care. I'm not going to say that I don't care what you like, but you shouldn't care what I like. I mean, that's not what we're here for. We're not here to talk politics. So we try to avoid that topic, and I think we've done a pretty good job. But every once in a while, there may be something that comes up where
I don't mind
somebody on the program might
pushing
say
it.
something. Heidi. But we really do try to steer clear of that because I just know that it's a divisive thing. Moving over here, scientists in China, they're working on something there. They've shocked the scientific world with the discovery of a fossil of over 50 species of life that have never been seen before. So they found one fossil, apparently, that has all these different species of life that we've never seen. That's kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
And one of the fastest growing segments of the marijuana buyers are people 65 and older. Most states have legal medical marijuana, and now 10 of them allow anyone under 21 to use pot recreationally. Many Americans, 61% is the actual number, support legalization for recreation use. Those 65 and older are increasingly supportive. The reason is the aging people are seeking to treat aches and pains and sleeplessness that other maladies, and other maladies of old age with this herbal plan rather than medication. So,
And it's good for so many things. Those drops. I saw a
CBD,
gentleman with
whatever it is.
Parkinson's that they put a drop in his mouth and like almost instantly he had his
and that's-
tremors stopped.
I think that's something completely different than this. But I do have a link to this story if you want to read all the details in there. That's going to do it for today. Thanks for listening to our Scoop of the Day on the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have IRS tax problems?
Are they keeping you up at night? Afraid to open your own mail or even answer your telephone? If your tax problems are affecting your family life, you need to know you have options. You have rights, and we'll make sure you get them. Call and speak with Mike Habib, the tax expert who will handle your case at 877-78-TAXES or online at myirs.taxrelief.com. That's 877-78-TAXES or myirs.taxrelief.com.
And it's time right now for Dear John Letters.
Dear John, Dear John.
It could actually be called Dear Joy Letters today because we have Joy expert Joy Baldridge joining us today. Joy Baldridge is a keynote speaker, a TEDx speaker, an author, a world-class trainer and facilitator, and we're going to read a Dear John letter to her here in a bit. But first, Joy, how are you doing?
I'm great. How you doing, John?
I'm fantastic. I'm excited to visit with you because I can tell just by looking at your stuff, and I watched a little bit of one of your TEDx videos, you're a happy person, and I think that's awesome.
Thank you. You are too, I think.
I sure try to be. I think that, that's one of the decisions that we get to make. We get to decide if we're going to have a grumpy day or if we're going to have a happy day, and I think it just makes sense to be happy.
Yeah, happy's always better.
So now, is your real first name Joy, or is that just for the biz?
No, the real first name is Joy, although I've worked a lot in publishing, and everybody asks, did you just change it for a marketing strategy? And I said, no. My mother wanted a daughter, and she wanted to name her Joy.
Well, so Mom put you on the path to what you're doing even before you were born. How cool is that?
It's super cool, and after I was born, she continued a really awesome path.
Well, I like what you say. You say you can be joyous without therapy, without liquor, without drugs, without even winning the lottery. You can be happy, can't you?
Yeah, you certainly can. You just need to understand how to have the right mindset. And it takes specific tools that I've been researching my lifetime as well as the lifetime of my family.
You've made a living doing this. I see that you're the founder and president of Baldridge Seminars International. So let's talk about what you guys do, and we're going to certainly circle back and talk about your new book as well. But what do you do at the Baldridge Seminars International?
Well, our goal is to help the best become even better. So I work with the best organizations, corporations, associations, and even government agencies. And all of the people involved in any of those organizations, I help the best become better by providing tangible tools that up their game, that help them to be better leaders or sales professionals or communicate better. And if you're not in the corporate world, I do speak at other functions as a keynote speaker and also an MC. And I help to uplift the audience and give them tangible tools so that when they leave, they can continue to feel and be uplifted.
That is fantastic. Let's talk about this latest book, the one that just came out, called The Joy in Business. What are we going to learn when we read this book?
Well, The Joy in Business has a subtitle that is Innovative Ideas to Find Positivity and Profit in Your Daily Work Life. So it's all about how you can be positive but also productive and profitable. And if you're not currently having a work life, for instance, maybe you're a stay-at-home mom or you're taking a break from work or you're an entrepreneur starting a new business, it can help anybody just have a different mindset for a positive but realistic experience to move forward.
Well, I'm super excited to have the opportunity to ask you the question today. Since we do a thing called Dear John Letters on Thursdays, you get to answer this one because it's the perfect topic for you. Dear John, I've been pretty gloomy at work lately. What can I do to be happier at my job? Signed, Case of the Mondays every day. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity for you, not only to answer this, but to maybe help others as well. If people want to be maybe a little cheerier at work, are there some things they can do?
Yeah, there definitely is. First of all, not everybody likes joyful people, just so you know. So if somebody's having a tough day and they're listening to this now and they're thinking, oh, she's so happy, what makes her so happy? I mean, if you're too happy, some people just want to slap you and say, you're not realistic, what's wrong with you? Are you drinking, like you said? And so I always first mention that to be positive doesn't mean you have to be euphoric. To be positive just means you have to take a step in the direction of going up versus down. And the way you do that is a concept called flooding, where you pick a phrase or a word that you feel makes you happy or makes you have positive thoughts, and you say that word over and over and over again. For instance, Émile Coué, a French philosopher and pharmacist back in the 1920s, he invented the expression, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. And although it might sound trite to some, if you say it 20 times each morning and 20 times each evening, it actually is what's called autosuggestion, which is also known as self-hypnosis, and it gradually helps you to change your thought process. Your thoughts change your behavior, and it definitely affects your mood. So that's one example of thinking, what's a word or phrase I can say that will make me feel happier than I am right now, just a positive word. And that's a good start.
I agree completely. Again, our guest today, Joy Baldridge. The book is called The Joy in Business. Joy, thank you so much for taking some time to visit with us today.
It was my pleasure, and I hope everybody has a much better day because of our chat. Thank you.
I do too. Again, the book is called The Joy in Business, Innovative Ideas to Find Positivity and Profit in Your Daily Work Life. In addition to our Dear John letter today, we also have a link to that in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
Is your credit card a good fit for you? How did you even get the card you have now? Was it mailed to you? Those are usually the worst cards. They typically have higher fees and rates. Someone has to pay all that postage to mail out millions of cards every day. If you like a better credit card, check out the website bettercreditcards.net. This is a great place to find the cards that are usually a better fit for you. Bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
1 in 10 Europeans were conceived in an IKEA bed. It says the massive retailer is popular, but did you know how popular? It says the producers of affordable furnishings and everything else are so common throughout Europe. The New Yorker magazine did a full report on this and dove in to find out just how popular. And they say that about 10% of all Europeans have been conceived on a bed from IKEA. So there you go. Thanks for listening to our fun fact on the John and Heidi Show.
Here's a fun trip back to the 80s.
Surely you can't be serious.
Join us in Las Vegas for 80s in the Desert May 3rd and 4th. Hang out with other 80s fans.
International language of love.
Meet several 80s icons from the movies and rock out to awesome music from the 80s. Flock of Seagulls, The Romantics, Mr. Scandal with Patty Smythe, Thomas Dolby, Pretty Poison, and more. See the full list of bands and icons at radiotravelgroup.com. That's radiotravelgroup.com.
Now, fear this. Time for fun with phobias. Heidi, tell me, motophobia or matephobia, M-O-T-T-E phobia. Motephobia? I don't know how you say that.
I have no idea.
It's the fear of moths. Like a moth.
Okay.
And I always thought that moths were kind of creepy, but I've never thought butterflies were creepy. Why is that?
I'm the same way. I don't like moths.
Like a moth, I'm like, yeah, go away. But then a butterfly.
Well, moths, they'll like come right at your face and flap all over you. But butterflies don't do that. Butterflies kind of just mind their own business,
more
and they're graceful.
Moths,
and moths aren't graceful. They're clumsy. They're all over the place. And
Motophobia. Today's fun with phobias. It's a fear of moths.
Do you have a pretty good sense of humor? You might like this. Early in the morning each day and every day, we share something weird to make people laugh at weirdgiftoftheday.com. You don't need to sign up for anything. You don't even need to spend a penny. Just follow the page on Facebook and get a smile to start each day when we share the weird gift of the day. Not on Facebook? That's okay. You can see the weird gifts on our website too. weirdgiftoftheday.com. That's weirdgiftoftheday.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. Here's something I don't see every day at a convenience store. An irate woman allegedly took a 4-pronged tire iron. These are big metal heavy things.
yeah, it's like shaped like a cross.
Yeah, you use it to take a wheel off a car. Anyway, this happened in the Philly area. A 51-year-old suspect, Aretha Robinson, grabbed a tire iron as a weapon as a result of a parking space dispute with another woman. And the victim got into the parking spot before the defendant did, and it all went downhill from there.
That's totally reasonable.
She used a tire iron to attack. This lady's 51, by the way. She attacked a 41-year-old female who entered the store after parking her car. This lady followed her into the store with a tire iron.
Whoa.
And smacked her on the right side of the head.
Oh, my gosh.
Video shows this lady with the tire iron in hand as she finally gives it over to the arriving officers just before they arrest her. So what in the world is happening?
She could have killed her.
Absolutely could have killed her. That's a crazy, crazy thing. And that's why it's today's Weird News. Now your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Officers arrested an Arkansas man on a long list of charges after leading police on a chase not once but twice. The driver, identified as 25-year-old Jose Luis Reyes, faces more than 20 charges ranging from weapons offenses to littering. Police say Reyes had an outstanding warrant with a $75,000 bond at the time of the chase. According to affidavits, they spotted a white Dodge Charger Hellcat driving east, and it was a stolen vehicle. It had been reported stolen. The night shift said they would be requesting a felony warrant for fleeing as well. Police pursued the driver at speeds of 110 miles an hour. Eventually, the driver was captured by the officers. They had a little bit of help from Air One helicopters to keep them in view there. He's being held now on an $80,000 bond, in addition to the previous bond of $150,000 bond. So he's in a little bit of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I got a feeling he ain't going nowhere. Got a link to that story if you want to read it. It's in the show notes under the moment of duh for today.
Is your credit card a good fit for you? How did you even get the card you have now? Was it mailed to you? Those are usually the worst cards. They typically have higher fees and rates. Someone has to pay all that postage to mail out millions of cards every day. If you like a better credit card, check out the website bettercreditcards.net. This is a great place to find the cards that are usually a better fit for you. Bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Now, these three things. Heidi, tell me, what do these three things have in common? A Boy Scout, a fraternity, and a telethon. A Boy Scout, a fraternity, and a telethon. Think about what do you, if you call in
pledge?
Yes. They all have or take pledges. So.
There you go.
I got a feeling you were thinking of something else because I see a smirk on your face.
I wasn't.
Sure you were. Thanks for listening to these three things on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news, and it comes your way courtesy of RadioTravelGroup.com. And what a cool little story we got here. A dog named Hank is getting some much-needed attention right now, Heidi.
Okay.
And the much-needed recognition he deserves for being a hero after he helped alert his family about a brewing fire in their house. Hank, this puppy dog, saved many lives in the process. A Twitter user shared the story over the weekend, and we've got a copy of that story. Actually, I've got a link to that story in our show notes. And it says, I want to tell you a story about Hank, and I want you to know that it does have a happy ending. Hank is 6 years old. Look at Hank. You see the photo over there?
He's so cute.
Such an adorable puppy dog. And he goes through and shares this story. Twitter only gives you a little bit of room, so there's like 1,000 bubbles on here. But the good news is, here's what happened. Hank was alert and let people in the home know that there was a problem. He got everybody out of the house, and he saved the lives of his entire family. So,
Aren't dogs amazing?
Yeah.
I love dogs so much.
I think it's really cool. So, Hank, you are a hero, and thank you so much. And there's a lot of folks that have put little photos of their dog thanking Hank. So on Twitter, they've replied back with their puppy dog saying thanks to Hank.
Oh, how sweet.
So I don't know that Hank necessarily knows what all those pictures are for, but I bet he appreciates it. I think it's really cool.
He's adorable.
Extra treats for Hank. Right?
Absolutely.
He saved our
Holy
life.
cow, absolutely. He should have unlimited treats from now on.
That's pretty darn cool. I wonder how many extra followers this guy got, because while I was just talking, I clicked follow. I'm following him now. I bet he's got a lot of extra followers.
He's adorable.
I've got a link to that in our show notes. It's under the good news section at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. I also want to say thank you to Joy Baldridge. She's our guest that we had today. In lieu of having Heidi and I go through the Dear John letter, I've been trying to let Heidi rest her voice a little bit.
I appreciate that.
You sound a lot better, by the way.
Do I?
You do indeed. But big thank you to Joy Baldridge, and I've got a link to her book that's available, The Joy in Business, I think is what it's called. That is all available in the show notes as well. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.